everyone, welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 5 of my best bets for tomorrow's race in action. That's the most I've given for a while, actually. Haven't really been fancying too much over the last few days, but we've got 5 tips tomorrow, and fingers crossed we can have a good day. But before we get into those tips, just do our quick recap on how our selections ran today. It was actually a good day for us, actually. All our tips were profitable, with a nap winner, which was Rhythm is a Dancer at Savile. I thought Harry Cobden gave him a perfect ride from the front. I wasn't always convinced maybe that he wanted 3 miles looking back from on some of his earlier form, but I thought the race today was a winnable contest for him, you know, because he had a really good prep run a couple of weeks ago when he returned and finished in 3rd place at Savile. So that was definitely a good effort, and he suggested that he probably was worth another crack at 3 miles. And I just thought the way the race developed played into Harry Cobden's hands, you know. He was able to set a very steady pace, dictate the sectionals, you know, and it was a really nice ride, an intelligent ride as well. And in the end, nothing was able to get past him, and it was quite a convincing win. I'm not sure if I would back him again over 3 miles. I'd have to see how the shape of the race would develop and what runners would be in that field. But yeah, he did the job nicely, but I would have question marks about him maybe following up again over 3 miles in a stronger field, because he might just get done against maybe a stronger stayer. But nonetheless, he did see it out really well today, but like I said, I would just have my reservations over him possibly next time out. But a nice performance there. We then had our next best, which was Jetstream for DJ Jeffries, and it was actually Sam Twiston-Davis that picked up the ride. Keelan Woods had a bit of an accident, I believe, earlier on the card today, so Sam Twiston-Davis came in, and I thought he gave him a perfectly respectable ride. Got a good position against the inside, took the shortest way round. There was a little bit of argy-bargy at one point, but I don't think he would have beaten the Fergal O'Brien when that horse looked ahead of its handicap mark. And our horse we put up at 13-2 each way last night as my next best, and the money was down for it. A lot of the stable's performers today were actually backed in the market. You had quite a few of them that were backed overnight, and our one was Jetstream. I think he went off favourite at the end. He was 5-2 at one point, not sure what his final SP was. But yeah, he was well fancied and he ran respectably. And if you did get on the bigger prices, the 13-2, I think I saw actually after I posted that there was as big as 15-2. So if you did even get a price like that, you know, you would have got a nice each way return. So that wasn't a bad result there for us. And then our long shot as well, Tommy G, advertised at 10-1 last night, but again I saw after I posted that it was available at 14-1 in places. So if you did get the double figure prices, that would have been a nice each way bet as our long shot. Finished in 2nd place in the end, and again, like Jetstream, the money was down for him in a couple of hours before the race. I know Oriental Lily was a winner for Jim Goldie in the race before, so that probably would have brought his price down a little bit as well. But he ran a blinder, he finished in 2nd place, and he's probably going to head now to his usual haunt of Goodwood, where he runs a solid race in the Consolation Stewards Cup every year, you know. So definitely probably want to follow him again next time he goes, and he'd probably be quite well handicapped as well. So yeah, Tommy G ran a really respectable race, and in the end it capped off what was a good day for us. But enough of me dwelling on how our horses ran today, even though obviously they ran well. We'll get into the tips for tomorrow. 5 tips. We're going to be starting off at Yarmouth tomorrow in the 240 with just one of my extra tips, which is Aristocratic Lady for Andrea Zaney and Simon and Ed Crisford, who now hold the dual licence and are going along quite nicely. You can back this horse at 5-2 at the time of recording, which is just before 6:30. And I thought this horse had a nice chance tomorrow in this race. Now this horse is a daughter of Invincible Spirit, but has very lightly raced and is only a 4-year-old, which suggests it's probably had a few setbacks along the way. But last time it won really nicely at Leicester in a maiden race, but it was a nice performance, and the first couple in the race were spread nicely apart from the rest of the field, you know, and that left you the impression that there was a lot more to come from this horse. And with the powerful connections obviously as well, you would think that this horse they've kept in training because they think it can develop further, you know, and it's got some nice wins in it. And I think tomorrow Aristocratic Lady's got a good chance in this race. There's quite a few exposed types in here, whereas this horse is on the way up. I can see her being quite popular in the market tomorrow. I can see her probably still probably be in the same kind of price she is really. She might maybe get shorter than 2-1, but I could see her holding her marketplace as the favourite. I think she's got solid credentials tomorrow. She's open to a lot of improvement, I believe, on her dam side as well. She's actually from the family of Dubai, so she's got some nice relatives in her pedigree. And I just thought 5-2 tomorrow. That was a good opening bet for us. Just going to be an extra tip. But yeah, I think she's definitely the one they've all got to beat in that race. We then go my nap, which stays at Yarmouth in the 340 with Otago for Ryan Moore and Michael Bell in the colours of Her Majesty the Queen. You can back this horse at 3-1 at the time of recording. And I thought this horse ran an encouraging seasonal reappearance at Windsor last time when he finished in 4th place. And again, the first 4 in the field that day were well ahead of the rest of the field. You know, there were some nice types in there. And I think he's well treated off a mark of 77. Now, that race at Windsor was over 6 furlongs, and he's dropping back to 5 tomorrow, which I actually don't think is a bad move. I think he's got enough pace to cope with it, and he's going to be doing all his best work late on. And the handicapper actually dropped him £1 for that run, so he's now down to 77. I think he's got a good chance. And if you actually go back through some of his form last year, it stacks up quite nicely. I believe he was tried in one of the decent 2-year-old races at York. I can't remember the name of it now. It might have been the Gimcrack Stakes. Probably wrong there. But yeah, he was tried at a really high level, but he just got found out. But in handicaps as a 3-year-old this season, I think he would have a lot to offer. And like I said, I thought he ran nicely last time at Windsor, and he actually broke his maiden tag at the course here, so that's always positive. Michael Bell likes to send some of his best horses to Yarmouth, and I just think this horse tomorrow has plenty of scope off his mark to maybe go up into the mid-80s later on in the season, you know. So at 3-1, I think he's got a good chance tomorrow, and that's why he's going to be my nap. We then go my long shot, which actually goes to the racing at Catterick, which only happens 10 minutes later in the 3:15. I'm going to take a chance here with Country and Western. Now, this horse you can currently back it at 8-1. Going to recommend each way as my long shot tomorrow. Now, this horse is trained by Robert Edery, and Selma Grage is able to claim a handy £7. Now, if you're a follower of my work, you always follow the podcast that I run called In the Saddle, or you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen that I interviewed Selma quite a few months ago now, back in February. She caught my eye when she won on a horse called Tynecastle Park for Robert Edery. She beat Cosmelli, who obviously has got some great form at the moment for Gay Kellaway, but she gave him a really good ride that day, and she caught my eye ever since. Now, I think she's definitely worth a £7 claim. She's originally from Denmark. She moved over here about a year ago, I think it was, but she's done quite nicely, and I think she's got a good chance in this horse, Country and Western. She rode him last time at Yarmouth when he finished in 2nd place behind Sonkran for George Bowie, and that horse went on to defy a penalty by winning again next time out at Bath, so the form has been franked. And that run at Yarmouth was over a trip that was probably too short for it. That was probably just a prep run for bigger and better things later in the season, with targets probably like this race on his list. But yeah, that was over 1.2 miles, and the best form of his career has come over 1.5 miles, and he's going to be stepping up in trip tomorrow by an extra couple of furlongs, which I think will suit. He did get raised £4 by the handicapper for finishing in 2nd place, but Selma's going to be able to claim a decent £7 off the horse's back. And if you actually go back through this horse's form, he's a bit of an old boy now, but he's still quite a consistent type. He does well on tracks like Savile, but he can mix it on the turf as well. He's got not a bad turf record, and he won over this course and distance in August 2018, so he's got good form at the track. And I think stepping up in trip tomorrow is really going to see him to good effect. And I think at 8-1, that represents a good each way bet, and that's why Country and Western is going to be my long shot tomorrow. We then go to Killarney over the Irish Sea, and this is where my next best is going to come in, and I'm going to take a chance here with G-Rex for Shane Cross and Joseph O'Brien, both going well at the moment. You can currently back this horse at 15-8 with bookmakers at the moment. Now, this horse 2 starts ago won a handicap at the Curragh, and he was a nice winner that day. He then went to Leopardstown, and he was quite a short price favourite. He was 5-4, but the run probably just came a little bit too soon, and he had to give away a penalty in that race. But I still think he ran respectably, and he probably just, like I said, found the race coming a little bit too quickly for him. He's had a couple of weeks now to get freshened up, and I think tomorrow this is a winnable race. There's a lot of horses in here look badly out of form, and also as well probably will need the run, whereas G-Rex comes in here in form, a lot fitter than these, and at 15:08 I think he's got solid credentials with a jockey and trainer in form. So for me, he's going to be my next best, and I think he's the one they've all got to beat. We then go with our final tip of the day, which is going to be another extra tip, which runs in the 8:15 at Kempton on the all-weather under the floodlights. Going to take a chance here with Poetic Lily, currently 15-2 bookmakers at the moment, and there's 4 places on offer with Sky Bet. Trained by David Minutier, who's a trainer I've got a lot of time for, and Jason Watson is booked for the ride. Often rides a lot of David Minutier's horses. Now, David Minutier hasn't had a winner for a little while now, but I think he's going to come into form, and normally when he hits form, then they come in like dominoes. He gets plenty of winners all at once, and I think this could be one of those that maybe breaks his duck tomorrow. And if you look at this horse's profile, she's not really convincing. She's not one of these horses that think she's going to be competing at higher levels, because she's actually not even placed yet. But I think she ran a really encouraging race when she finished in 5th place at Wolverhampton. Now, she was out the back that day, but she plugged on, and she wasn't given a hard ride by Thomas Catterick that was in the saddle that day. I don't even think he asked her for an effort at all with his whip. He didn't even tap her in the home straight, you know, and it was hands and heels. And she was running on quite strongly, and now that was over 7 furlongs, and she's going to be stepping up in trip to a mile tomorrow, which I think will definitely suit this horse. Been crying out for a longer trip. Got horses on the downside of the pedigree that stayed up to a mile and a half, and this horse is by Poet's Voice, who's a miler himself, you know. So you're going to be looking at the angle tomorrow that going up in trip is a massive positive for this horse. And again, this horse is going to probably maybe have a tough draw being out wide, but the style of racing should suit it. This horse probably be held up the back and come with a late run, and horses, especially on the Monday night meeting at Kempton, that were towards the front, they weren't getting home, and in this the racing there was setting up for closes. Apparently they did some work or something, and it made that the wax in the poly track, or I'm not an expert on the artificial surfaces, but anyway, the way the wax was in the surface, it meant that the track was riding slower, and it was setting up for closers. So yeah, I think the style of the racing should suit this horse tomorrow. I think there's a lot more to come from it, and she's down now to a mark of 47, which is definitely an exploitable mark, and I think she will have the improvement to come, and she can improve for that step up in trip. So for me, at 15-2, I think it's a great each way bet with the 4 places on offer, and I think this horse has a decent chance tomorrow. So they're my 5 best bets for tomorrow. Just quickly recap. In the 2:40 at Yarmouth, we go with Aristocratic Lady, 5-2, that's just an extra tip. My nap then comes in the 3:40 at Yarmouth with Otago for Rymore and Michael Bell, 3-1, win only bet. My long shot goes in the 3:50 at Catterick with Country and Western, 8-1 each way. My next best runs in the 5:25 at Killarney with G Rex, 15-8, win only. And then we then go to Kempton for the 8:15 with Poetic Lily, 15-2 each way, and 4 places with the likes of Sky Bet. And I think there's also as well 1 or 2 other firms offering extra places. So yeah, they're the 5 best bets for tomorrow's racing. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button for more videos on my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter as well, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And also as well, don't forget to like the video, comment in the comments box below. Let me know what your best bets are tomorrow. And if you want to be part of the Telegram group that we created a couple of weeks ago that I'm in with the tipping line, just click the link below. You just download the app, and then you'll talk to like-minded people that are interested in racing and betting, talking about their best bets and that. So it's a real nice little community, been growing. And if you want to be part of that, just click the link below and then just follow the instructions. Yeah, but that's all I've got to say on that score. So hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll be seeing you soon.